Hi there, we're going to look at reverse bay parking to the left, and we're going to do it in three stages. We're going to do the first stage, which is get yourself out, get yourself parallel, reverse back in, get yourself nice and neat in the bay, nice and straight, nice and parallel in the bay within the white lines. That's how we're going to do it. Then we're going to do it for someone who struggles with coordination. So we're going to get ourselves out and stop at each point and talk you through how you could get around that problem. And then the third one would be, we're going to look at, you've got yourself in the bay and you realise you're too far to the left or you're too far to the right. And we're going to talk about how you can correct them faults. So we're going to drive ourselves out of parking space, go to the left, get ourselves parallel with the bays and reverse back into a space. And we're going to try and do it in two movements, which is get ourselves out, stop, pop it in reverse. Once we're parallel, look around and drive it into the space. And if we can't do that in one movement, then the second time round we're going to try in breaking it down so it's a little bit easier for people who struggle with coordination. So we'll have a look round and we're going to drive out the space forward first. And there's no rush, just keep it in first gear and just keep your foot on the clutch, just nice and low. Give yourself a bit of a width from the bays on the left. So you're talking about half a car width, and then handbrake, reverse, have a look round, and you're choosing the bay you want to go into. So I'm looking round and I'm going to count 3 spaces along before it. So 3 white lines before the bay I want to go into. I'm looking round and taking my time. And when I get to the white line that I want, I'm going to turn. So as it comes up to the white line here, I put a mark on the window and I'm doing a full lock to the left while I'm moving the car. I'm checking round, and if I check my left mirror, I can see it's going in quite nice. And I'm looking round, there's no rush. I'm doing what I'm doing, very slow speed, not even registering. And it's coming round. Now anticipate the fact that the car is going to get straight and start to straighten up with it. Before it gets straight, steering comes off, the car's parallel, look over my shoulders, and once I'm in the bay, I'm going to stop. So that's an ideal way to do it. Great if it works out for you. Lots of people can't do that for different reasons. So we're going to break it down now in sections. We're going to have a look round and we're going to repeat it, going out. Give ourselves space. Get ourselves parallel and then slow myself down to stop. Handbrake, reverse. Oops. Have a look round, now I'm in reverse. And that's to get to the point where I want to turn. Remember, it's always 3 white lines before the bay you want to go into. So I've chosen my bay, 1, 2, 3, next white line coming up, and I put a white mark on the window. So when the white line gets lined up with the middle of the window, I'm going to turn left. And remember, if you're struggling to coordinate, this is the way around you can do it. You take your time, good observations. When it gets to the point where it's getting level, you just say, right, I'm there, stop the car, have a look round, and I'm turning. So you're doing a bit of dry steering. It's not ideal, but you've got to get in the bay, haven't you? Have a look round, off the brake, and carry on. So you're kind of making sure the observations are up to scratch before you do anything, before you turn, before you move. And I'm looking round, and it's going round. I've checked the left mirror, it's still going in. It's a little bit tighter than what I want to do, but it's going in. I'm looking round, it's going to get straight, so I'm anticipating that. As the car gets straight, stop. Car's parallel, off comes the steering again. So you've got 2 bits of dry steering to do. Look around and reversing back into the bay in the white lines, a little bit closer left than what ideally I want, and then stopping. But handbrake neutral, but it works. And that's a way you can get around it. So that's how to do it if you're struggling to coordinate movement and turn at the same time, is stop at each point where the car, when you want to turn the wheels, stop the car, look round and turn the wheel, dry steering. It's power steering, so the car's going to take it. The downside is some examiners will mark you down for dry steering, some examiners won't, but the important thing is if you do it that way is to make sure you look before you turn, make sure you look after you turn. Make sure you look as you're about to move, okay? So let's look at if we are going wrong on the manoeuvre when we're reversing in, and there could be different types of reasons why you're going wrong. You could have turned too early, or you could have turned too late. So we'll come at the different scenarios. So we'll get ourselves out of the bay. Get ourselves nice and parallel. Pop it in reverse. Have a look round. and we're going to turn late this time deliberately, so we should end up being wide in the bay. So here comes the line. I've deliberately missed it, and I'm turning, looking round. And it's only when you start getting closer you realise that you look in your right mirror there and you think, oh wait, I'm too wide here. Now you've got the choice. You can either ideally stop at this point and go forward, but if that's confusing for lots of people, get yourself to your parallel for the bays going in, and then stop the car, straighten yourself back up, pop it in first gear, and you're too far to the right. You can even check, I'm too far over, so I need to go to the left. So I'm looking round, and as I move across, I'm going to turn to the left, bring it across, so I'm a bit further across all the bays. As I'm going forward, turn to the right. That's going to bring the car more straighter, and then straighten back up to the left. Have a look round, look in your left mirror, right mirror. I'm in the bays at this point, looking over my shoulders, and I'm reversing back slowly. And I'm taking my time, not rushing. Definitely not rushing because there's a metal fence behind me. And then slowing down to stop. Handbrake, neutral. And that's one way to correct it. And if you were too close to the left, you do the opposite. You would look around, go to the right, so you turn to the right, and then once the car gets across to the right, turn to the left and straighten yourself back up. So you do it the opposite way. So if that's definitely helped you, then give it the thumbs up, and watch out for my next video next week.